$500,000. It sounds like a number reserved for the rich, the lucky, or the people who inherited it. But how many Americans actually have that much to their name? The answer might shock you, and not in the way you think. Here's the setup. According to the Federal Reserve's Survey of Consumer Finances, the median household net worth in the United States is about $192,000. That means if you lined up every household in America from poorest to richest, the one right in the middle would have less than $200,000 total. That includes their home equity, their retirement accounts, their savings, their car, everything they own minus everything they owe. And that middle number is under $200,000. Now compare that to the average net worth, which sits at roughly $1.06 million. That average is wildly misleading because a tiny number of ultra-wealthy households drag the entire average upward. The median tells the truth. The average tells a fairy tale. What percentile is 500K, the real number? So where does $500,000 fall? Based on the data, a net worth of $500,000 puts you somewhere around the 70th to 71st percentile. That means roughly 29 to 30% of American households have a net worth at or above $500,000. About 38 million households out of 131 million. And while that might sound like a lot, flip it around. That means 7 out of every 10 households in America have not reached the $500,000 mark. The majority of the country isn't even close. Now here's where it gets interesting. How geography changes the wealth picture. That 29% number is a national average. It changes dramatically depending on where you live. In Hawaii, nearly 48% of households have a net worth of $500,000 or more. In Washington state, it's about 43%. California, 40%. But in Louisiana, it's only about 15%. In Arkansas, even less. Geography plays a massive role in the wealth game, mostly because of real estate. If you bought a home in Seattle or San Francisco 15 years ago, your equity alone might push you past $500,000. If you bought in rural Mississippi, that same timeline tells a very different story. Your zip code is quietly shaping your net worth, whether you realize it or not. Net worth versus liquid wealth. But don't confuse net worth with cash in the bank. That's a mistake almost everyone makes. Most of the people who technically have a $500,000 net worth don't have $500,000 sitting in a savings account. A huge chunk of it is locked inside their home. The median homeowner in America has somewhere between $150,000 and $250,000 in home equity, depending on the state. Add a decent 401k, maybe a car, and a modest savings account, and you're at $500,000. But try to spend it tomorrow. You can't. It's not liquid. It's tied up in walls, roofing, an aging sedan in the driveway. On paper, you're wealthy. In your checking account, you might be stressed.
Let's talk about retirement accounts for a second. 401k balances and the retirement savings gap. The average 401k balance in America is about $335,000, according to Empower's data. But the median tells the real story. For Americans between 55 and 64, the people closest to retirement, the median 401k balance is roughly $95,000. Half the people in that age group have less than $95,000 saved for the decades after they stop working. And some experts say you need $1.5 million to retire comfortably. That gap between what people have and what they need is one of the biggest silent crises in the country right now. So even though around 29% of households cross the $500,000 line, many of them are barely over it, and most of that wealth is illiquid. The number of people who actually have $500,000 in investable, accessible assets is far smaller. We're probably talking about 15 to 18% of households, maybe less. Now let me give you the age breakdown, because this matters a lot. If you're under 35, the median net worth for your age group is about $39,000. At that age, having $500,000 would put you in the top 10% easily. Between 35 and 44, the median jumps to $135,000, and $500,000 puts you around the 81st percentile. Between 45 and 54, the median is $247,000, and you're doing very well if you're at $500,000. But even between 55 and 64, when people are peaking in their careers, the median is only $364,000. You don't actually see the median cross $400,000 until the 65 to 74 age bracket. So even in the age group with the highest net worth, $500,000 still puts you above the middle. Time is the greatest asset, and most people don't start building wealth seriously until it's already running out. The debt crisis working against most Americans. Here's what's working against most people. American households now carry a record $18.5 trillion in total debt. The average household owes around $105,000. Credit card debt alone averages about $10,000 per household. Student loans average around $38,000 per borrower. Auto loans add another $22,000. And the big one, mortgages average around $241,000. When you owe that much, getting to a positive net worth of $500,000 feels like running uphill in a windstorm. Every dollar you earn has somewhere to go before it ever reaches your savings. And the paycheck-to-paycheck numbers make it even clearer. According to a Bank of America Institute report, about 24% of American households are living paycheck to paycheck. Some surveys put it much higher, around 67% when you include people who cover their bills but have little to nothing left for savings or investing. When you're in survival mode, building to $500,000 feels like a fantasy. It's not that people are lazy. The system makes it genuinely hard to get ahead when prices keep climbing and wages barely move. High income doesn't mean high net worth. But here's the part nobody talks about enough. The gap between the people who reach $500,000 and the people who don't isn't always about income. It's about behavior. Studies consistently show that many high earners are broke. In fact, 41% of Americans earning $300,000 to $500,000 a year still live paycheck to paycheck. They make great money, but spend every dollar. Meanwhile, there are teachers, electricians, and nurses with a net worth above $500,000 because they started investing in their 20s, avoided lifestyle inflation, and let compound interest do the heavy lifting for 30 years. The math isn't complicated. If you invested $500 a month starting at age 25 and earned an average 8% annual return in the stock market, you'd cross $500,000 by your early 50s. Bump that to $750 a month and you'd get there even sooner. You wouldn't need a six-figure salary. You'd need consistency, patience, and the discipline not to touch it. So, who actually has $500,000? About 3 out of every 3 American households. But a huge portion of that is home equity they can't easily access. The number who have $500,000 in liquid investable wealth is much smaller. And the ones who got there didn't always earn the most. They saved the most. They invested early. They let time do what time does. $500,000 isn't reserved for the elite. It's not some billionaire benchmark. It's an achievable number for regular people who understand one simple principle. It's not about what you make. It's about what you keep and how long you let it grow. If that changes the way you see your own financial path, hit subscribe. This channel is built for people who want to understand how money really works, not how it looks on social media. And if you found value in this, share it with someone who needs to hear it.